We make the strings louder.
Hello everyone, so in the video here by the Legend, I'm going to show you guys how to make a lot of money with cooking. Now first, in this part of the video, or in this part of the series, I'm going to show you guys 3 things that you're going to need to manage first and need to get ready and set up first before you start cooking. That is going to be contribution points, energy points, and your time. Real world time, your actual time you're going to be able to put in the game. Now once you evaluate these 3 things, then you will be good to go. I highly recommend having at least 100 contribution points, 100 energy points, and a lot of time to spend on the startup. Once you have the startup good and you start up and you're going, you won't need to put as much time into cooking because it's an AFK skill. It's an AFK process. So once you have the startup, once you put your good hours in a startup, you'll be good to go. Now what you're going to be using your contribution points for is getting the nodes, as I have here. I'm going to talk to you guys about that. Getting the nodes that you're going to need to get you the supplies that you're going to need to cook recipes. Now we're going to go up to the Velia. You're going to have the Velia hideout set up. Make sure you connect the nodes together. I'm going to talk to you guys about what you need here. You're going to pick up these 4 farms here. I'm just going to scroll over them. My pronunciation is terrible, so I'm not even going to bother butchering the names. Once you have these 4 farms, I'm going to hold it here so you guys can pause the video, pick them up, then move on. These 4 farms here, these give wheat, corn, and potatoes. 3 of which that you're going to need to cook beer so you can get your cooking level up as fast as possible. Once you have the nodes connected and you move down to Hideout, you want to pick up these 3 farms, this plantation right here. The Costa farm, the Alejandro farm, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, there it goes. Alejandro farm. Once you have these 3 farms, you're good to go. With your spare contribution points, you want to pick up as many farms as possible. These farms you can obtain in Hideout. If you just right click here and you go down to the material worker, it'll bring you to the material worker. You can buy farms for 10 contribution points a piece. Get as many as you possibly can with your spare contribution points. If you have more contribution than 100, then just buy as many farms as possible. The more farms you have, the more money you make. When it comes down to that, I'll talk about, when it comes down to the bottleneck materials later. I'll mention that more when it comes down to farming. But essentially, once you have that set up with those nodes, then you're good to go with the nodes. Now, when it comes down to spending your energy, you're going to be gathering a lot of meat. That's what you're going to be primarily just using your energy for, nothing else. When you're gathering meat, there's an area right here off of Hideout. It's going to ping it for you guys. You guys can screenshot it, copy it, throw it somewhere. This area contains a lot of lamb and sheep. Really easy to kill, a shit ton of them. They respawn really quickly. You can go there, just gather all day. That's all you need to be spending your energy on. Now when it comes down to milk, like I mentioned a little bit earlier about farming, you can obtain meat and milk from Haystacks. And the problem I have with Haystacks is that it's not very efficient unless you have 10 or more farms. Reason being, you can only put 2 Haystacks per farm. Gives about 20 milk, 10 meat. I mean, it's not great, but you can propel your cooking a lot more and a lot faster if you have about 10 wheat plants, and each of them giving you back about 20 to 30 special wheat. You have about 200-300 a return from each farm. That's insane. That's a lot of wheat. Just every day, 300-400. If you're multiple farms, that you're getting hundreds to thousands of wheat a day. That's a lot better than 20-30 milk, 10-15 meat that you can cook and get the hand-ins for in a lot higher volume, and you can gather in a lot higher volume. It's not very efficient. You rather just use it to cook wheat and etc. Now, like I said before, when it comes to getting milk, also you can get it through haystacking, or you can get it through hand-ins, through cooking beer and other recipes. You get these hand-ins. I'll show you. See if I have an example here for you guys. Okay, so when you cook, you get these hand-ins, strongly seasoned dish. This is the hand-in you get for returning to receiving milk. You hand in 3 of these dishes that you get from cooking other dishes, and then it gives you 1 milk per 3 seasoned dishes. Very, very, very efficient way of getting milk. You're cooking other recipes, selling it, making money, and you get milk in return, which is very hard to get otherwise. There's only 3 ways to get milk in this game: hand-ins, haystacking, and going by the farm near Calpheon and milking the cows. That requires energy, and it's very far from Hideout Velia. Waste of time, travel time. It's not worth it. it's not worth it. So as you guys have that set up, once you have those few things, then you're going to be good to go. Obviously, you need a residence in the city that you're cooking in, whether it be Haydel or Velia. Make sure you get yourself a residence. I have my residence down here near the marketplace manager, near the storage manager, and near the Imperial cooker, which I will mention, the Imperial exchange, which I will mention in another video, in the next video. But you know, I picked up my residence here. This is a very, very, very good spot to have your residence. This is where I have my residence in Haydel. I highly recommend cooking in Haydel for reasons I will explain in another video. Now, going into talking about how you should spend your time to efficiently, you know, just get the most out of your time. Not all of us have 15-20 hours to put into the game. Not all of us is Summon 1G. You could just play the game all day and get paid to do so. Some of us have lives, or just responsibilities, essentially. Now, to efficiently get all of this done, what you really want to be doing is just primarily be gathering. When it comes down to farming, it's AFK until you have to gather it. When it comes down to your nodes, all you have to do is feed your workers. Make sure your workers are fed, and you should be good to go. It'll keep collecting the supplies for your cooking and drop it in your storage. You don't have to worry about that. Just make sure you feed the workers. It's a click of a button. You right click your beer, you click on feed all, and that's it. Make sure you manage your farm. Make sure they don't hit 200%, and make sure that you don't let them just sit there and die, because you will lose all of your plants, and that is about like a couple 100K in seeds. And if there is even seeds on the market, they're very, very scarce on the market. So be careful with your farm. And then obviously only time you want to be spending actual time when it comes to, you know, putting into the game is gathering. Just sit here, gather, use all your energy, and then just either AFK fish or do some other AFK process. Leave, go to work, go do whatever you gotta do, and then come back and just spend your time gathering, feed your workers, and check your farms. That is the most efficient way to get your startup. Once you have a good amount of meat, a good amount of supplies needed, you can put more contribution points into farms. Like I said before, be having an efficient hay stacking farm. You want to have 10 or more farms for your haystacks. Then you can essentially stop gathering meat, put all your money into farms and stuff like that, so you can produce passive meat and milk passively. And you can upgrade your workers in your nodes to professional artisans, so you could receive more supplies per pull. You can cook more to get more milk. Essentially, those are the things that you want to be doing later down the road, which I will talk about in another video in terms of the end game items and results that you want to be having. But as a startup, you just want to make sure your workers are at least skilled. You want to have about 2 or 3 farms, you know, have these nodes, and have, you know, at least 100 energy to gather some meat. Now, that's the end of this video. It's very short, just a brief kind of introduction for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, got something from this video. I will have some links in the description below. I'll see if I could put some timestamps, if I could, you know, kind of figure out where I should put these timestamps. But hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you stay put for the next parts in this series. Like I said before, hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.